everyone, it's Joy here for Tailored Expressions. I'm super excited to share the really cute treat wrap basket accessory that goes with the present treat wrap die. Now here is that basket accessory, and you get the cute little basket weave, you have a handle and a cute little scallop. Then the present treat wrap die, so those two pieces go together. Then the really cute Tag Team Easter, the spring stems stamp and coordinating die. Then I will be using some white rhinestones for embellishments. I'm going to be using sugar cubes, spearmint, and toffee cardstock, foam sticky strips, Oreo ink and VersaMark ink. Then I'll be using toffee, spearmint, gumball, lavender glaze, and Granny Smith's ink. The new cute little powder tool and gold embossing powder, a Copic marker and a white pen, the press it tool, and bitty blender brushes. Now I'm going to start with a piece of toffee cardstock and the large die from the present treat wrap die itself, and then the little add-on pieces, which is the treat wrap basket accessories. That's going to be from Spearmint cardstock. I'm going to tape these down with some low-tack tape and then run those through my die cut machine. The handle and the scalloped pieces I'm going to do twice. Now I'm bringing in that little add-on, the treat wrap basket accessory, and I'm adding that to each end of the already die cut piece. This is what's going to give us that really cute basket weave look. So I'm just taping that in place in two spots because I don't want it to slide around, and then running that through my die cut machine. And isn't that super cute? Now I have this piece right here. This is a 6-inch by 1 3/4 inch piece of toffee cardstock. This is going to make the little part inside the basket that's going to hold the treats. So I'm going to score it first at 1 inch, then at 2 3/4 inch. I'm making sure I get a really good score line. So 1 inch, 2 3/4 inch, then 3 3/4 inch, and then 5 1/2. So again, 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5 3/4. And again, this measures 6 inches by 1 3/4 inch. So now I'm just going to fold this on all of those score marks, and this is going to make the cute little basket that holds your little treats, and that's how it just folds together. Super, super simple. I decided I'm going to kind of do tone on tone, just adding a little bit of shading. So I'm taking the toffee ink to the toffee cardstock and just adding a little bit of shadow around the edges. Now it is going to not be this dark because once the ink dries, it'll be a little bit softer, but it still adds a little bit of something. So I'm using the bitty blender brushes just so I'm not covering the whole cardstock. I'm going to do the same thing with the spearmint cardstock and the spearmint ink on both of the handles and both of the little scalloped pieces. So the handles are kind of at the base, is where I'm adding that little bit of detail. And as you can see, it just adds a little bit of shading. And then on the scalloped pieces, just at the top, adding a little bit of shading. Now I'm going to come in with that little insert piece and some score tape. I'm going to add 2 pieces to the smallest little flap. So this is about the 1 inch piece. Then I'm going to remove that release paper and then just fold this around and adhere it to itself. Really, this is a super simple, easy little fold. So now let's put this basket piece together. I'm going to glue on the handles. I'm using some liquid glue to adhere that down on both sides. And then I will use some tape runner for the little scallops. You could also die cut these pieces 4 times and put them on the inside of your basket, and that would be really, really cute too. So it would kind of finish off the inside. So I'm just going to adhere this last little scalloped edge, and you've got this really cute little basket. Now I'm going to bring back in that score tape and I'm going to add a few pieces to each of the long sides, not the short sides, just to the longer sides. So 3 pieces each. I really want to hold this in place. Score tape is very strong, so it works really, really well for a project like this. I'm going to remove the release tape from one side only because I only want to adhere the first side. I think it makes it easier if you're not trying to do both sides. I'm going to stand that up in the bottom, make sure it's even on both sides, and then just bring up that little flat piece and adhere it. Remove the release tape for the second side, stand it up, making sure everything is nice and square and even, and then just push that little front right in there, and now you've got this super cute little basket. These are so quick and easy to make. You can just fill them full of treats. Okay, so I'm using the Spring Stems stamps. I'm going to be using all of the images. I think I ended up not using one of these images, but I stamped all of them. So I am coming in with the Granny Smith ink, and I'm not even worried about masking anything off. I'm just inking up the stems and the greenery in my Misty on some sugar cube cardstock. I'm going to ink that up a couple times to get a nice good image. I don't mind if a little bit of the green gets into the flower area. I think it's totally fine and you're not even going to notice it. But if that's something that bothers you, you can mask off the flower area with some low-tack tape or stick-it notes or whatever, and then stamp your images. Okay, so the rest of the colors for the flowers are Gumball, Lavender Glaze, and Pink Champagne. So I'm just going to stamp those. I'm kind of just doing one at a time so I can decide which flower I want which color. But these are such pretty stamps, and I thought these would be really darling on the front of this basket. So now I'm going to stamp the cute butterflies that are inside there, and I'm going to use the new powder tool from Tailored Expressions. Super, super cute. You don't have to rub it. You just kind of pounce it and you get more than enough powder. I'm going to stamp those with VersaMark ink, and I'm coming in with gold embossing powder. I'll sprinkle that on and then heat that till it's nice and melted. Then I'm going to use the coordinating dies to die cut out all of these images. Again, I'm using low-tack tape to hold those in place, just lining those up around my images, and then I will run this through the die cut machine. Now here is this cute little Tag Team Easter sentiment, little sentiments, and they have cute little images. I'm using a really tiny sentiment that says Happy Spring, and I think it's actually perfect for this little basket, but there's tons of other cute sentiments on there. So I'm going to stamp that with Oreo ink because I thought bringing in a little bit of black would be a lot of fun. I'm going to trim that out with my paper trimmer, and then we can get this little basket put together. So I'm just going to lay out my greenery and my flowers. I'm using liquid glue because I don't want these to fall off, and I'm just going to move those around and kind of get them in place like a cute little flower bundle. Some of these I ended up kind of moving around once I was laying things out, and you can do that pretty quick if your liquid glue hasn't dried yet. So I'm going to get those in place. I think I've got a couple more flowers to do. Like I said, I only ended up not using one flower, so that's pretty good out of all of those images that I stamped. I tied up some cute little gold thread, and I'm just going to adhere that at the bottom like that's a little piece of ribbon or whatever holding the flowers together. Then I'm using some foam sticky strips behind that sentiment, placing that up there on the top. And then I'm coming in with those little gold butterflies. I thought the pop of gold would be really pretty and add something else to this card. Some of these are just going to be glued directly to the card, to the images, and then some of them have some foam tape behind it, some foam sticky strips. I just kind of trimmed those down a little bit small and then just added the butterflies all over this cute little basket. Then I'm coming in with a Copic marker E55, and I'm just kind of highlighting those little marks in the little basket weave because I just felt like it needed a little something extra. And then I'm finishing it off with some white rhinestones, a little bit of bling to this, which is really, really cute. Then I'm using some white gel pen to add some highlights to these flowers. Some little highlights, some little dots. And then this cute little treat basket is finished, and it is so darling. And like I said, you could just make a ton of these. You don't even have to add the flowers. You could just make a bunch of these to hold some really cute little treats. I want to thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.